Hey guys, I have a fun one to share with you today. This is a meal that I've been making a lot lately, and it's just one of my favorites in the whole entire world anyways. Did you ever have one of those moments where you got home, because I just got home from working out and I was super hungry. Did you ever have one of those moments where you just rip the whole entire kitchen apart and finish something real quick and then just start eating? That's me right now. But I wanted to show you one of my favorite meals. It's spring rolls. And when I make spring rolls, I load up on the veggies. I put so many veggies in there. I eat like 5 or 6 at a time, and it ends up being kind of just like having a big old salad. But I'm going to show you how to make it. Okay, so after I've already eaten a couple of these, like 2 or 3 of them, I was really hungry. This is my setup. So I want to show you how I set these up because they're a little bit difficult to understand when you first get them. So here are the spring roll wrappers that I get. These, just because Whole Foods, these are the only ones that Whole Foods had, but they're really good quality. I think they're non-GMO brown rice spring roll wrappers. Now about these, they are a very processed food, so this isn't something you want to have all the time. It's not really super nutritarian or whatever, but it's as long as you don't have it all the time, you know, it's perfect. It's fine. It's made of rice. So here's, so you have these round wrappers in here, and if you take one out, this is what it looks like. It's kind of like paper. And it's a little scratchy on one side and smooth on the other side, and they're magic. They're totally amazing because when you just put them in a little bit of water, just get them wet on either side, after about 2 minutes they turn into a very sticky, gummy, sort of a wrapper that you can use like a burrito, basically. It's not like a tortilla, basically, but it's stickier, gummier, and it's one of my favorite textures in the whole entire world, so I totally love using these. I'll show you how to use them in a minute, but I'm going to show you how I prepped. So the things that I put inside of my spring rolls were carrots, red peppers, cucumbers, tomatoes, some kale, some romaine, some tempeh. I made some tempeh over here. And then I have what I always have, avocado, dill, and mint to put in there for some awesome flavor. And then I make this little almond butter sauce that I dip the spring rolls in when I eat them. So I'm going to show you how I made the tempeh. So I basically just had a pan, and if you're not familiar with tempeh, let me show you what it's like. You basically have this block of fermented soybeans. If you've never had tempeh before, it's kind of an interesting flavor at first, but I like to flavor it with some other things so I'm not having just that beany flavor. But I think it's super delicious. It makes a great replacement for meat. Super high protein, low sodium, really, really yummy. Got really good nutrition in there. So what I'll do is I'll take this out of the package, slice it like this. I only use about half the package or so at a time. Just slice it real thin, and then I'll put it into a pan. Now you don't have to use oil, and if you're a nutritarian you wouldn't, but I did. I used a little bit of coconut oil, but you could use whatever kind of oil you want, or just don't use oil. Brown it over like medium heat. Then I added a little bit, at the end I added just a little bit of this coconut aminos. This is a soy-free seasoning sauce. It has a little bit of like sugars in it, but it's a lot less sodium than say Bragg's or soy sauce. So I really, really like to use this stuff, just a little bit. And you just put in a bit, sort of you're cooking it over like medium heat. And then at the very end, once it's nice and browned a little bit, then you just sprinkle a little bit of the coconut aminos in there, and it soaks it up right away, makes the best flavor. So this tempeh, once you've made it, looks something like this. It's so good. I think it's so delicious. You could put this into spring rolls like I'm doing this, or you could actually just have it alongside of a salad or whatever, some really great protein. And your bean, you know, getting your beans in for the day, and they're fermented, so they've got really good like probiotics and stuff too, so they're a win-win. Then what I did was I made a little sauce, and because I was so hungry, I always clean out my Vitamix, but I was just so hungry I couldn't today. So what did I put into it? I put into it some almond butter, just raw regular almond butter, a little bit of ginger, fresh ginger. I used half of an orange. This is a Cheri orange. I used half a lemon juiced, and I also put in, let's see, I put in a tiny bit of honey, and then I put in some rice vinegar. This was seasoned, but if you're strict 100% nutritarian, you would just use regular rice vinegar. And then I put in a little bit of the coconut aminos as well for some salty sweet-ish flavor. So that was my sauce. I don't really have the measurements for it. You'll have to sort of figure that out if you want to make the same thing. But so that was my sauce. So I'm going to show you how these work, okay? So I have my rice paper wraps here. I've got the one that I had. When I set up my stuff, here's how I do it. So I'm gonna soak this in the water. I have a plate with water in it here. I'm just gonna get this all wet. I'm gonna put this down onto my towel. I keep a towel under here to put these on so because they don't stick that well. I mean, they stick if you leave them for too long, but I find that the amount of time it takes for me to make the spring roll is just enough time for it to have softened enough for me to be able to roll it without cracking. And then I'll let it sit for a couple seconds and it will continue to absorb some of that water and soften up. And then it's the perfect consistency. So what I'm going to show you, I'm just going to dive in here and show you what I do. So I take the wrapper, I dunk it in the water like this, and you've got to just get it all wet on either side. So I'm going to flip it like this. A lot of people, like, they say you should use warm water, they say you should do all these different things, but I just find you don't really need to do that. It's just very easy. You just dunk it in water. You could run it under some water in the sink too. That's super easy. Then just put it on here. I like to leave a little overhang because this will flop down, but this way it's easier to just pick it up. Then I start to fill it like a burrito. So I take some of my tempeh like that, put it down here. Just pretend like you work at Chipotle and you're filling your own burrito basically. I'm gonna put a bunch of this super crunchy veggies in here because I love that crunch. This is like my favorite thing. I just love how crunchy these are. I'm gonna add some tomatoes. Then I chopped up a little bit of kale, and what's cool is when you have so many different flavors in here, you can't even taste a super strong vegetable like that, so that's really cool. I break up some romaine, put that right on top for some good crunch too. Then I add some of the dill in, like that. I just really love the really strong flavors of this mint and dill. Here's the mint now. When you get a bite of that, it's super yummy. And I would open up some more avocado, but I want to sort of just save that little half for later, so I'm just going to put a little bit in. But normally I would put more. Lick your fingers. Okay, now you're ready to roll. This is going to be hard for me to show on camera, but as you can see, it's starting to get really gummy and like foldable. So I'm going to, hold on, let me see if I can set you down. Okay, so here's my rolling, all right? So you gotta kind of work fast at this point because it starts to stick to itself. But you just, oh no, roll it down, smush it, and it gets real soft, and that's okay. Just smush it down, then roll over the side, just like a burrito. Eat that avocado. Roll it up like that. Oops, it looks like I missed a little piece in the water. That's why you gotta get the whole thing wet, otherwise it will be kind of crunchy. And then roll it up, and it kind of sticks a little bit to the towel as you're rolling it, so make sure you have a nice clean towel. And here is the really weird spring roll when you're done. This is what they look like when you're finished. I just like to take them, dip them right into the sauce here, and then eat. That's my spring rolls. I will eat about 4, 5, 6 of these at a meal. The spring roll wrappers, they're not the best thing for you, but they're also not the worst. So I find that this is a really, really good meal to have. Keeps you really full for a while. As long as you have a source of protein, it'll keep you really full for a while. You could use meat if you're a meat eater. This goes great with like some pork or some shrimp or anything like that. Like, just yummy. It's really, really delicious no matter what you put in it. You could even put nuts and seeds in there. I mean, really, the sky's the limit. You can put so many different things in. So be adventurous, give them a try. Or if you already know about them, let me know what you think and what you like to put into them. This could just become one of your favorite meals to have every week, like a Taco Tuesday or something. You could have Spring Roll Sunday or something. It's a really fun food to use if you've never used it before. It makes a really good family activity. If you have kids, they would find this super fun to roll these things up. If you like this video, please let me know by commenting below, liking the video, and subscribing to my YouTube channel. Also share this with friends that might be interested in a recipe like this. As always, thank you so much for watching. See you guys soon.